Welcome to July Sport. This week we're in Valencia for the climax to the MotoGP World Championship. Solo round-the-world yachtswoman Dee Kapari takes on her latest challenge. And Sweden for the Handball World Cup. The program gets the green light at Valencia, Spain. 2006 MotoGP World Championship had gone to the wire. After a tempestuous 16 rounds, the championship would be decided over the last 120 kilometers of the season at the Circuito de la Comunidad Valenciana. A disastrous race last time out had seen the then championship leader Nicky Hayden's title hopes virtually disappear when teammate Danny Pedrosa crashed into him, knocking him off his bike and out of the race. Meanwhile, title rival and defending world champion Valentino Rossi had gone on to take second in Estoril, which moved him above Hayden in the standings and into a commanding 8-point lead. The Italian, in search of a record equaling 8th world title, took pole. Hayden started from 5th.
Great start by Troy Bayliss. The front row. Bayliss leads the way on the Ducati. Looks like Caparossi in second place. Hayden's also made a good start, as has his teammate Danny Pedrosa. And Rossi, well, there he is on the yellow Yamaha. He bogged off the start a little bit. Not the start the world champion wanted, but it's Bayliss that leads the way. Hayden must not let him get away at the front. Bayliss leads. Caparossi still in second place. It's Pedrosa now moving up into second place, pushing Caparossi back to third. Look at Nicky Hayden on the charge, trying to get past the Australian Casey Stoner. Not a good start there by Valentino Rossi. And I think Hayden almost touches elbows with him. He does. Tension back in the garages. It's unbelievable. Fastest lap of the race to Marco Melandri. Nicky Hayden moves up into second place, past his teammate Danny Pedrosa. Did he let him through? Danny Pedrosa, after bringing him down 2 weeks ago, is going to look after him. Loris Caparossi, Casey Stoner, there's Valentino Rossi. Rossi not making any progress at the moment. Rossi in seventh. Will Hayden find out what is happening? He's closing on Troy Bayliss. That's the answer. Rossi, place 20. Hayden takes a big gulp of breath and thinks, perhaps I won't try and get past Troy Bayliss. Randy de Punier, the Frenchman, ending the season in the gravel trap right in the Kawasaki. Here comes Loris Caparossi up at the inside of Nicky Hayden. Hayden will not want to fight too hard. Hayden knows if the positions remain the same, he will be world champion. Danny Pedrosa now going to come and help his teammate. He's got to the inside of Marco Melandri. He's in there very, very fast indeed. Far too fast. He runs it wide. And Casey Stoner and Marco Melandri go through. Chris Vermeer, a MotoGP race. And his teammate, Loris Caparossi, in second place. But it's Nicky Hayden, who is the 2006 MotoGP World Champion. Valentino Rossi gets warm applause. He's finished 13th, and it's not good enough. Valentino Rossi is no longer the world champion. Kenny Roberts, the last American to win the title 6 years ago. Shakes hands with Hayden, but how is a world champion gracious in defeat?
So Troy Bayliss winning the race, but against the odds, Nicky Hayden securing the 2006 world title. Valentino Rossi having to settle for second place this season. Loris Caparossi beating Marco Melandri to third place. Now for a whistle-stop tour of the world as we catch up with some of the sport making the headlines. First up, Mundaka, Spain witnessed history as Kelly Slater reiterated his position as world #1 by securing his 8th surfing world title. Bobby Martinez of the USA won the Billabong Pro event, but compatriot Slater stole the headlines as second place in Spain was enough to seal championship victory. Two sporting icons to Kenya as part of the Laureus Sport for Good campaign. 200 and 400 meter legend Michael Johnson inspired some of the athletic, whilst World Cup winning footballer Marcel Desailly passed on some of his knowledge to Kenya's future stars. Ottal, Austria hosted the inaugural Sickline Extreme race as Europe's top kayakers met on one of the world's most difficult whitewater sections. World sprint champion Klaus Suchanek of Germany took an early lead with victory in the sprint, and he held off Thilo Schmidt in the slalom section to take the title. Next, we head to Tasmania, where record-breaking sailor Dee Kafari is about to embark on her next race, a 600-kilometre journey over land.
This month will see the Australian island of Tasmania overrun by adventure racers, taking part in the Mark Webber Challenge. Yachtswoman Dee Kafari leads the all-female team Spinboks.
The adventure race actually starts in Launceston and heads down to Hobart, and along the way we'll be doing the disciplines of mountain biking, some kayaking and also some trekking. There's no denying it's going to be tough. I mean, just to do between 10 and 14 hours a day for 6 days in a row, we're going to need all our strengths of character to keep going to the end.
Kafari is training her team on the other side of the world in England. 4 women with different skills that should serve them well.
Team Spinboks, we've got myself, Dee Kafari, and my background's from sailing. Helen Reeves, her background is in kayaking. Victoria Wentworth, who was a major in the army, and Rachel Cadman, who is a triathlete.
The skipper's last adventure was most definitely a solo event. This time last year she was about to set off around the world aboard the 72-foot yacht Aviva, attempting to become the first woman ever to sail solo around the world westabout, that is, against the prevailing winds.
Well, I had 8 weeks preparation for the Aviva Challenge, and I set off, and the day the shore crew got off the boat at Plymouth and I headed towards the start line was actually the first time I'd actually sailed single-handed in my life before. The weather was horrendous. I've never been in storms as bad as that. But I also had to climb the mast on one occasion, and I got stuck halfway up the mast and kind of had a bit of a ragdoll impression. And I'm actually quite scared of heights, but it's one of those things you have to overcome and deal with. I was swinging around the mast for over an hour and a half before I could actually get myself back down to deck level and sort the problems out. And I lost a lot of confidence with that, and it was something that I had to build up gradually again. And I would be honest and say I saw a strength of character in myself that I wasn't aware I had before.
Let's see, an unexpected offer from Formula One driver Mark Webber came at the perfect time.
Mark Webber's team actually contacted me to see if I was interested in leading an all-female team in his adventure race. So I jumped at the opportunity, a really alien environment, but an opportunity where I could still get to push my limits and push the boundaries.
With kayaking a key discipline in the Pure Tasmania Challenge, Kafari decided to recruit a specialist paddler onto her team, Athens Olympic medalist Helen Reeves.
At the time, I sort of vaguely heard about Dee and the fact that she's obviously sailed around the world on her own, which was impressive. But I actually met her when she was doing a talk at a sort of networking evening.
We were just chatting, and I said, oh, you know, what are your plans for November? And kind of tentatively asked.
She said, oh, do you want to come to Tasmania and do this challenge? And I was like, absolutely. And I was just, from then on, yeah, we just had a good chat and got on really well.
6 days is a long time to spend with someone on an endurance event, and you need to know that you can have fun along the way as well.
As well as in many hours of training, the team have been taking part in a number of build-up events, even against Mark Webber himself.
We've all taken part in these endurance races, and we've done the running and the biking, which we kind of get through, and we've all improved. But Helen and I were definitely more at home back out on the water, and as soon as we got in our kayaks, felt much more comfortable, and we were quite happy and actually made up some quite good places in that time.
Because we're in double canoes, I'll be able to help propel one canoe, and so hopefully somebody else is going to be good and propel the other one.
Kafari has already proved her own unbreakable spirit on the high seas. The challenge this time will be to lead a team on land, and for her this is uncharted territory.
The teamwork element is very different. I had to deal with myself, and I only had to worry about myself. And this time there's a team of 4, and you're as strong as your weakest player. So it's a case of endurance and having that experience and getting it through to the end and finishing in good spirits how we started. That's what I'd really love to do.
After the break, Tunisia versus Croatia in the finals of the Handball World Cup. And race 7 of 10 in NASCAR's Nextel Cup chase race.